Hello, my biddies. How are you today? Oops, I forgot to turn on my fancy new light. There we go. Maybe that's too bright. That's good, I guess. How are you today? I am good. I went grocery shopping this morning. I got hot dogs for dinner because we're having the boys. Ugh. Next week is going to be all messed up. Probably won't be on Wednesday or Friday next week. Now I'm trying to be productive. Most of the groceries are still in the car. I also had a visitor today. Someone came around with a recall petition for one of our local uh, township board members because they're an idiot and causing problems. Been waiting for this recall petition. Said he liked my Obama sign. He said we had an old Obama sign in the garage from back where when we lived in our old house where we could actually put up yard signs. It's still sitting in the garage. I don't know why, but we will keep it forever to remember the better times. Oh, I do not have any opening statements today because went grocery shopping. Spent less than $100, but I only got stuff for sure until Tuesday. I did get stuff to make a southern style dinner. We'll see how my husband likes that. So anyway, I guess we'll get into the reads unless anybody has any better ideas. Oops. Okay. So I hopefully that guy will get recalled. He's causing lots of problems and costing the whole township money for frivolous lawsuits. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Um, oh, I did see that the teacher that got shot in the classroom by a 6-year-old, she won her case, so that's good. She got like I think like $10 million, which means she'll probably take home too, if she's lucky. Um, so our first read is from Petty Revenge. It says wronged SO gets revenge on Craigslist. Not me, but I got involved. Saw an ad on Craigslist for 45 free layer hens, chickens, right age and good breed. He's moving for work and must get rid of quickly. Take all or few. Um, I call. The guy is irate. I get him talking because he is at his wit's end. He tells me that his girlfriend found out she was cheating when she went through his phone. She broke up with him and he thought that was that. But she started posting free stuff on Craigslist with his phone number. He's getting tons of calls all day and night. Call anytime. As soon as gets the post taken down, she posts another one with his number. One was a motorcycle he never owned, like he ever owned any chickens. There was a free new fencing that he can't use. He lives in an apartment. A puppy he found, share half big house cheap. I'm from out of town most of the time for work. Whenever he could get a post taken down, she would post it in a different category. He can't change his phone number because it's a work phone. Oh my goodness. That sounds awful. Poor guy. Yeah, that's not nice to do. Like, I get that he cheated, but don't use their work phone number. Top Put says, I'm sad on your behalf that you aren't getting a great deal on 45 chickens. If you want chickens, find a egg farm and they will either give away or sell them for like really cheap because they can only keep them for so long before they start slowing down um, their egg production and then they get rid of them. I know my cousins give away chickens all the time, it seems like, because they own an egg farm. Cousins are kind of weird. Yeah, that's a bummer. It's bummer for that guy and everybody she's scamming in the um on Craigslist. I forgot that Craigslist was a thing, to be honest, or nearly forgot. Um, This is from Am I the Jerk? Am I AITJ for telling my sister I won't pretend her boyfriend is a co parent to my dog? That's weird. So I'm 49 female, single, no kids. I work from home and have a 4-year-old mutt who is basically my child. My sister, 26 female, started dating this guy 5 months ago. He's fine, kind of performative, really, into being part of the family. Recently, he started doing this thing where he calls my dog our little guy and asks me what our rules are for him. I thought he was joking. Then last weekend, we had brunch at my mom's, and I mentioned I was taking the dog to the vet for on Tuesday. Sister's boyfriend goes, "Okay, just send me the invoice. I can split it since I'm basically co-parenting him now." Okay, that's weird. I said, "No, he's my dog. I'll pay for him." He actually got annoyed and said I was gatekeeping the dog and that if I let him walk the dog and watch him sometimes, then he should be included in decisions. No, that's not even how it works with the real kids. If you're an uncle, you don't get a say in the decisions, no matter how much time you spend with them. Grandparents either. Sis backed him up and said it would make him feel more included. I told them both I'm not making a 4-month boyfriend a financial or decision making person over my pet. If they break up in 2 months, what? I'm supposed to update him on vaccines the rest of his life? Now they're saying I made him feel stupid in front of the family. You should feel stupid because that's dumb. AITJ for telling him he's not the dog's dad. Hedwig Flies Again says, NTA, he made himself look stupid. You didn't do anything. Your sister must be desperate for companionship to date him. Turtle Moose answered, made himself look good by being stupid. Tale as old as time. Why are the dumb ones always so easily offended, too? Yeah, that's true. That seems true. Think of the average person you know, and then remember that half of the population is dumber than them. It's pretty bad. Alrighty. Our next read is from Entitled People, entitled Mom Demands Disabled Seat, then misses her flight train. Okay, so an interesting thing happened to me today. The local train is set up in a way that it goes as a full train for 90% of the time and then splits into two trains at the end, one going to the suburbs and one going to the airport. Okay, that's kind of wild. So you got to make sure you're in the right cars to go to the right spot. So far, so good. I was on the part that goes to the suburbs like usual today. Currently, there is a holiday season here, so there are lots of people with suitcases around that want to go to the airport. And almost every day, I see people who enter the rear part of the train towards suburbs by mistake. I usually help these people out and tell them that when they can best change to get to the front part of the train to the airport. You can easily spot them with a big suitcase looking a bit out of place. Yeah. There are places when we went to Seattle, we stayed near the SeaTac airport, and you knew everybody was had suitcases. You knew they were either coming into the airport or going to their hotels. But today was different. I have a bit of a limp on a right leg, so I'm pretty slow and usually sit in the disabled seat, which makes it easier for me to get in and out of the train. Cue the entitled family. Now today, big family with suitcases enter: mom, dad, two kids, and grandma. The train started. The entered the train. Okay, big family, mom, dad, two kids, and grandma. It's only 5 people. That's not huge. The train started. They entered the train and started arguing about if the train goes to the airport or not. With mom being very sure it goes to the airport, and they are all wrong. Looking for seats, they're coming towards me. I was pretty much sitting alone. Mom coming up to me, telling me that I should get up and make room for them, telling me I was sitting in a family part and should not be sitting there. To be honest, I would have made room for them anyways, but I only smiled at them and got up without another word. But mom was not done yet, telling me how rude I am and that I should look out for people who actually need those spots. Dad pulled her to the side and just pointed out my limp and that I'm probably disabled. She only looked at me like sour grapes, just very much insincere apology. I was staying quiet towards them, moving a couple seats over and watching with somewhat malicious delight as they realized they were on the wrong part of the train and missed the last station switchover. Ah, Yeah, they deserve that. They deserve that for being jerks. Don't be mean to people. You can't always see disabilities, and sometimes they don't even have a limp to see. You don't know what's going on in people's lives. Okay, we this is an update from Mother-in-Laws from Hell. Um, it's update 2. So we, I believe, read the other updates at some point. Hold on a second. We gotta check. Always gotta check. Oh, that's not it. I sworn I read this one. Oh, yeah, we did. Okay. See, this is the original. This is the original. I believe. I believe it is the original. Oh, maybe not. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, apparently there's an update. There's an update one, number 1 that we missed. Oh, no, we did read it. Okay, we have read all of these. Um, so we read the first one. Oh, maybe we didn't. Maybe we have not. I think this is on track for another day. Interesting. Okay. All right. Just ignore me. Um, so we will just read them all. We will read them all. All right. Mother-in-law's from hell. Mother-in-law turned up at our house this afternoon. As the title said, she showed up bashing on the doors, windows, and screaming and cursing at the top of her lungs. This time, I called the police immediately and made sure the security camera I set up myself outside goes to my phone was recording because I wasn't sure if my husband would get them access to it. And I also called a couple of my neighbors and asked them for theirs if they had her on theirs. They were more than happy to give me my footage. Two neighbors caught her screaming that she was going to kill me for taking her son away. And they are and the neighbor directly across the road caught her trying to pick up a big rock he has in his yard, actually more like a boulder since she couldn't pick it up. You picking up rocks out of people's yards? Well, hey, that's theft, especially when it's big like that, because those things cost some money. I made it very clear to the police that I would not come outside while she was there, so they put her back in the back of their car and I let them in to come speak to me. While I was speaking to them, my husband came home from work. He came home as soon as he saw her show up and start yelling, so he actually missed most of it. So he was shocked when he pulled home and saw his mother in the back of a police car and them in our house talking to me. When she saw the footage from just our camera alone, um, just our security cameras, which caught her threat while he cried, he couldn't believe I had endured that from anyone, alone his mother. The police asked me what I wanted done, and I said I want her arrested. They said, unfortunately, all they could charge her was trespassing, since she had been told not to come here anymore. And I said to them in the fact of that she threatened me and thrived. I think they meant tried, and tried to pick up a boulder and throw it through our window. He said that was a domestic incident, and I better off getting a restraining order. Surprisingly, my husband was not happy about this news. He wanted her charged with something. He told them that what has been going on and went and got all the letters she had been sending me, and they read about 3 or 4 each and said it was smart to keep them because I'd be guaranteed a restraining order after how many she sent and with what the content is. He also gave them full security access to our security cameras. To be honest, I was surprised how cooperative he really was and that he wanted her to have her charged with something. I thought it best he might be cooperative with a restraining order. While we were talking to them, my husband mentioned that she had driven up, and said to them, "You might want to breathalyze her because she's probably drunk and she also doesn't have a license." Well, what do you know? The bitch was drunk and no license. So they locked her up. They said she'd probably just end up with fines, which I think is totally effed up, but they said hopefully a night in the drunk tank might knock some sense into her. Hmm, probably not. Not with this kind of person. So she's going to have a record for it now. I'm going for the restraining order. One of the police officers left his card and said with me and said if she shows back up to call him directly and ask for him. Once I get the restraining order, he will be more than happy to pick her up if she breaks it. He actually said to my husband, "I'm sorry, mate, you got dealt a bad hand with your mother." Yeah, I would say so. All right, so then we go back. Here's mother-in-law update number one. Was 22 days ago. Uh, well, she out of jail. Okay, can we please proofread our Reddits? Please. They rang me to let me know they had released her a couple of hours ago. I let my husband know, and he said, "I know she's been blowing up my phone since she got out. She wants me to pick her up and drive her back to our house so she can get an apology from you." I don't think that's going to happen, dude. I laughed and said, "It's never going to happen." And he told her the same thing. Then he said, "At least get my car." Her damn car is still sitting in her yard when I got up this morning, so I got it towed. The police wouldn't take it. My husband said he wasn't driving it to her house because he would need someone to give him a lift home, and he doesn't want to help her after all that crap yesterday. Although the wife doesn't the wife drive? Couldn't she have like followed in her car? Because that's what I would have done. I would just put her. I would have had my husband drive over there with me and park her car somewhere inconvenient. I know she would use it to come back here, and once she was here, she would cause another scene. That's fair. So I towed it. Now now I owe her another apology according to her, whatever it costs to get out. But she can't afford that right now, so she asked my husband to pay for it and he told her to F off and that she had some nerve after what she pulled yesterday to be asking for favors, let alone for money, and stop calling him. The police said to me to unblock her, but my husband is adamant that I leave her blocked and she can just call him and carry on, and we will keep any more letters that show up. And if she turns up here again, we will be keeping and handing in all the security footage. We discussed getting another lock on the front door. She doesn't have keys to our house, but she is very upset at the thought that she might come here again next time, actually break a window or smash the current lock we have. We have security doors and screens though, and he's told me to make sure I deadbolt them when he's not home anymore. My mother-in-law is a much smaller woman than me, but I have a disability, though it isn't major. I could probably fight off an 82, 83-year-old woman if I need to, but it's a risk we don't want to have to take. So we are definitely going to apply for this restraining order, but the police said they can take a while. Thank you for all who gave me useful advice, and thanks for the kind responses. Yeah, it takes a while because you got to put the restraining order in. I've been watching a lot of court TV type stuff. You got to put the restraining order in, and then you have to serve the person. And you can serve them several ways, but the best way is to personally serve them. Either you take the thing to them, although in a restraining order, you don't want to do that. You have a third party that take it. You can pay the police to do it. Um, if you can't find them, or or they won't answer the door for even the police or whatever, you can get permission to serve them by mail, email, voice, even. There was one the other day that the guy couldn't find his ex-wife to serve her papers. So they're like, you can do it over the phone. It's fine. You can do it voicemail if they won't answer. You have to have proof that you served them is the only thing you need. Someone says there's a world where you could unblock her but put her on silent mode. All of her messages could be used on restraining orders. Lopsided Beach says mute her. Messages, calls go through for record keeping evidence, but the phone never notifies you. That's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. I need to. Yeah, we read the original on 10/23/25. So that was last month. I don't know why we read it last month. It shouldn't have gone for last month, but oh well. We are not perfect. We are not perfect. Um, yeah, okay. And then, so today's update is she has a couple more too, it looks like on there. Um, Update two on mother-in-law turned up at her house. We have a court case in 2 weeks for the restraining order, so it's going to take them at least 2 weeks. And this was 17 days ago. She freaked out and blew up my husband's phone when she was served yesterday. Called me a malicious effing cunt and said that she was wished I was dead. My husband documented for the court case. The rest of the messages were her blubbering into the phone about how she didn't deserve this and how she wants her family back. My husband ignored her. The stress of all this has finally gotten to me, and I ended up in the hospital for several hours. I had an epileptic seizure and fell, hit my head, and had to get 4 stitches in my scalp and a concussion. Oh, so needless to say, we are even angrier with her now. Wow, that's horrible. That's horrible. I'm so sorry, OP. Even if you are skanky how. That's her name. Oh, she did unblock her and put her on mute, so that's good. Um, yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe we'll have to have some updates on that in a special episode. um, all right. Well, that was fun. That poor OP. I feel so bad for her. At least her husband has her back. So many husbands wouldn't. At least her husband has her back. Our next read is from Malicious Compliance, entitled IT Want Process Over Results. I gave them process and panic. A couple of years ago, I got shuffled out of the business side and into IT during a reorg. The official reason was better alignment with software delivery. The reason, I'm expensive. I don't do sales, and IT has a bit bigger budget. Also, this is educated speculation. Kept not approving IT's builds for not meeting specs, which apparently makes me difficult and not solution oriented because they wanted it done right instead of halfway. So now I report to the executive, and I previously challenged over the weak quality of his team's work. Since joining IT, everything has to be a ticket. Doesn't matter if it's a question, a clarification, or divine revelation. No ticket, no work. PMs handle ticket creation and prioritization, which sounds fine in theory, except my actual job is to consult with business analysts and developers. I know more about the rules, regulations, and use cases of our software than anyone in the company, and my work doesn't easily fall into a ticket as it's more of a problem solving role for existing tickets. Still, no ticket equals no work. Bureaucracy over brains. Clients, especially senior ones, tend to reach out to me directly because I can actually answer their questions. Normally, I'd just respond if needed, make a ticket afterward for tracking. But management didn't like that. Of course, they didn't, because somebody else might do it too. After one particularly spirited discussion over delays to close low priority tickets in lieu of responding to high priority client emails, my boss told me to stop responding to client emails altogether. I was to forward them to PMs who would create, prioritize, and assign tickets. I explained patiently that these emails often come from executives and need quick turnaround. Boss's response: follow the process or we won't know how overworked you are. Okay, then, boss, let's follow the process. A week later, I got an email from the CFO, one of our biggest clients, asking for details about a custom build. Normally, I'd get an estimate in a couple of hours. Instead, I CC'd my boss and PM, confirmed that I'd received the request, and politely asked them to create and assign a ticket. A few days later, the CFO followed up, we need this by Friday. I replied again, CCing everyone, apologizing for the delay, and asking that the assigned resource take note of the urgency, knowing full well no one had assigned the ticket. Behind the scenes, I had already done the estimated and informed the client what was happening. Spoiler, nothing. Suddenly, my boss was frantically pinging me. Why haven't you gotten back to the CFO? Gee, I wonder why, boss. I calmly reminded him that one, he told me only to work on assigned tickets, and two, he was CC'd on every email. Three, he'd have to ask the PM for a status update. There was a long, delicious silence before he replied, okay, you don't need a ticket for everything. In the future, if it's from an executive, just respond and make the ticket afterward. Sure thing, boss. Glad we got that cleared up. I sent the estimate, everyone was happy, and peace was restored. And better yet, management now puts results over process. Well, the first part anyway, but peace and results, well, that's a malicious compliance story for another day. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. See, this is why you don't mess with the system that's working because it won't work. It won't work. Does not work for other things. Why is my All right. Dry dry mouthy today for some reason. It's the weather. I blame everything on the weather. Weather stinks. It's rainy and not even 50 degrees, which isn't cold. It's not really cold. I just wore a jacket today, but when it's really cold, I wear a coat. I got to buy a new coat. My coat is literally falling apart. I have worn it for over 10 years, maybe over 15 years. I don't remember the last time I bought a new like winter coat. I like my coat. It's nice and cozy. Okay, this is from AITAH. AITAH for telling an autistic person that their disability isn't an excuse for not paying for services rendered. Well, yeah. I work as a server in a restaurant. A couple of nights ago, I had a couple in their 30s come around 2 a.m. As I took their order, the husband mentioned that all the food had to be on separate plates for his wife, as she is autistic and will not eat foods share the same plate. So you ask for extra plates. You don't ask people to do extra work for you. They then proceed to order. She wanted a a kids meal. However, the restaurant policy states that kids meal can only be bought for kids. I explained this policy and explained that everything on the kids menu is available for adults for a slightly higher price. Combined, it all came out to about $1.50 more per price. Plus, they give you a little bit more too. Husband agrees, and I send the order to the kitchen. We are busier than normal as it's homecoming weekend and we have lots of big parties. Big parties and people who just show up at homecoming, kids. Yeah, homecoming weekend, I know here it's crazy. We try to avoid going out that night. That night, homecoming and prom. About 20 minutes pass, and the husband flags me down and states that his wife is having a panic attack and they need to pay for their drink and leave. I ask for 1 second to make the kitchen aware that the order is no longer needed, and he agrees. When I go to the kitchen, I'm told the food is prepared, so I ask for it to be boxed up to go. I return to the floor, explain that the food has been prepared and I'm having it boxed to go for them. The wife then states that because of her panic attack, she will not be able to eat. Well, yeah, that's why you're taking it home, chickie. I explained that I am sorry but that she has a panic attack, but as they came into the restaurant, ordered food, and it was already prepared that they would be expected to pay for the services rendered. However, I would comp their drinks if they like. Then she asked why she would have to pay for food she wouldn't be able to consume, and I simply stated that once the food is ordered and cooked, the company required compensation for services rendered, and that even if they were to stay in the restaurant and not eat any of the food and leave it at the table, they would still be expected to pay for their order. Reasonable. That's how like you're not going to be able to eat forever again. You're never going to be able to eat again. That's what this lady's saying. She then reiterated that she had a panic attack and that I should recognize she was having a medical episode, to which I replied, I am a server, not a trained medical provider, and that if she was being escorted out of the restaurant on a stretcher, then I would make an exception. But as she was currently speaking to me coherently, I failed to see how her medical condition warranted her not paying her bill. Agreed. Today I received a complaint that they filed with their corporate office saying that I discriminated against them by making them pay for food that the wife wouldn't be able to consume due to her panic attack induced by her autism. Again, she's letting you take it with you. It's not like it's sitting at the restaurant. You go home and eat it. However, I would have done the same thing with any customer, regardless of who they are. I actually think that making an exception for them solely because she's disabled would be a form of discrimination, as I would be treating her differently than I would treat others solely because of her disability. So, my question is AITAH for not making an exception, or did I do the right thing by having them pay for the food they ordered? No, you're a good kid. You're a good kid. You followed the policy, let the corporation take care of it. Champion Ether says, so she had a panic attack but stayed in the restaurant to argue about not paying for their meal. That clearly was not an emergency. She sounds like a nightmare who is totally enabled by the husband. Yeah, for sure. Homestead Granny says, not a panic attack. I've gotten them, and all I can think about is getting to a safe place, car, home, and let it run its course. My ability to argue with someone is nil because my brain is telling me to run away. I've had a panic attack. I think probably could have argued with someone, but it depends on the level of the panic attack. I mean, you can have a panic attack that's just situational. Mine I was trying to go up a hill in really bad weather, and other cars were falling down the hill on the ice, and it was really scary. Um, and then there's completely debilitating panic attacks, which I've never had, but I know that they exist. And then there's panic attacks that you have to call an ambulance for because you don't know what's going on. We have a neighbor who is a former cop who has those panic attacks. So every once in a while, the ambulance shows up in our neighborhood at their house, and we know it's probably just him having a panic attack, but you feel like you're gonna die. So I get that. But this lady was not having that bad of a panic attack if she could sit there and argue with them for that long. Plus, she can take it home where she won't have a panic attack, maybe. Right? Panic attacks involve a lot of ugly crying, and my panic attacks involve lot of ugly crying. I have no desire for anyone to see me, a middle-aged woman, absolutely melt down. My first instinct is girl run. The shame of breaking down in public like that would only make the panic attack worse. Yeah. Fresh chicken eggs. She should join us. When I worked at the hotel, front desk called me, unsure of what to do with a woman who came rushing into the lobby, sobbing and hyperventilating. I rushed out of my office, and she managed to tell me that she thought she was having a panic attack. She just said, she said just suddenly she couldn't breathe and her heart was pounding, and she had to pull over because she wasn't safe in her car, and she thought we could help. I told her I have panic attacks and it sounded like a panic attack, but I would still call an ambulance just to be safe, which is probably the right move because it could be something else. In the meantime, I got her a bottle of water and we went to my office where I had her sit down and slowly sip water and breathe slowly. I also turned off the white lights while we waited for the ambulance. I spoke very calmly and kept reassuring her everything was okay. We called her family to let them know what was happening. This was the early 90s, no cell phones. The MT said it was most likely a panic attack, but they took her in just to be safe and run some tests. It was the first time it happened to her. I was under so much stress at work in my life. I later found out I have an anxiety disorder and OCD that was raging, and that I would wake up in the middle of the night with panic attacks. The first few times I thought I was dying, I'd have them in stores. I still do if I don't take Clonopin. Yeah, Clonopin before I go. My OCD actually helps because I count steps to prevent panic attacks and the doom feeling. My therapist doesn't know what to do with that. Ha ha ha. Oh, I am so glad this woman ran into fresh chicken eggs because I think someone else might not have treated her as well. You know, people that dismiss panic attacks. Um, I've seen people dismiss panic attacks and just tell people to calm down, and it's not right. Our next read is from Neighbors from Hell. Neighbors' kids forced their way into my yard by pushing through a non entry point of my fence. My mother did not seem to understand my concerns for her kids' safety on my property rights. It says, neighbors have been very angry with us since A property survey line we hired it revealed that not only were they neighbors under the impression their yard is smaller than they originally thought, but they have a rock garden that encroaches onto our property. Ever since this lot survey was done in August 2025, they have not taken any concern about their children's behavior seriously. We built a fence this month, October, last month. It's just a wire panel fence with T-posts, but it's permitted and approved by the city. We needed something built fast because the neighbors kept trying to mow the lawn and weed whack past what they now know is the true property line, and we needed to stop that so they couldn't try and claim adverse possession. I think their home's previous owner built the encroaching rock garden, but still, if it were me in their situation, I would start removing it because that's the type of person I am. Anyway, we still built the fence. Since we built the fence, our kids have been significantly less lawn space to play. Their swing set now sits only about 5 feet from my fence, which is set back 2 feet from the property line. And the parents have not moved the playset to give their kids more space, and I'm not sure they can because they erected a massive above ground swimming pool 2 years ago that consumes most of their tiny backyard. There's also a giant, beautiful maple that sits in the middle of the remaining open grass space that they have, and then the rock garden borders the edge of the storm water retaining pond at the very back of our lots. These lots are only 0.37 acres each, so not big at all. So here's the problem. The boys stand by the swings and kick their soccer balls, purposefully hit the gate that I have on that side of the fence. Now, I have kids myself, indoor kids, but we don't have an issue with kids playing outside. Why are you keeping your kids inside? That's weird. I grew up in the 90s and was outside all the time. What I know of their boys is that they like to push boundaries and then run to mommy, who defends them. Well, I knew well, what I knew would happen happened. They kicked a ball at the fence and it went over, no big deal. I would have just thrown the ball over the next time I took my dog outside. However, the boys wanted it back. My backyard security camera caught the following incident. Bucky's here. Bucky is a big, like 10-point deer that visits my yard every once in a while. Oh, which reminds me, I had visitor earlier. He mentioned Bucky. The ball goes over the fence. The younger boy attempts to open my gate, which is locked. Then the older boy hoists his little brother onto his back to try and help him climb over the wire, but they abandon that plan. Then they walk into my garden on the side of my house, and the little boy pushes his body through the wire where it meets the house to retrieve the ball and then returns the way he came. The wire fence was bent significantly from him doing this. I have photos and video of everything. When I saw this footage, I sent a text to their mom with screen grabs of the camera footage to prove the incident to her. Mom's name. Our security cam just caught something alarming. The boys were kicking their soccer balls at our fence gate, and one of the balls scaled the fence and landed in our yard. The guys first attempted to open our gate, which is locked, to retrieve the ball, and when that didn't work, older boy name attempted to lift his brother over the top. Then they sent younger boy name to forcefully push his body through the wire by the house where he was able to get into our yard to retrieve the ball. Then he pushed himself back the way he came. This is a huge safety liability to us. If their toys land over our fence, I have no problem tossing them back over whenever I'm free to do so. I might not be able to immediately, but within reasonable time. The boys forcefully entering is not acceptable and could cause us big problems if they get hurt. Please let them know they cannot do this again. Her reply was kind of what I expected. She did not apologize and made some weird excuse that I can't wrap my head around. Obviously, we've never had anyone with a fence or care if we were in their yard, especially have it locked. I told the boys and the girls and our kids, Grandma was over at the time, and thought it was okay if anything goes into your yard to not go get it. This happened yesterday. Pes- ugh. I put up a no trespassing sign on my fence gate facing their side this morning. I bought a no trespassing sign ahead of time, knowing the boys would try and enter when they discover my gate would be locked. What do I do from here? Mom and Dad do not like me now because of the lot survey, the fence, and that I have a camera. I do not like her kids at all. I just wish she cared about if she were in my position, which knowing her for 5 years, she would be a tiger about all of this. Fiesta fan says, Respond, you are now under notice that they are not permitted in our yard due to damaging our fence and putting us in legal liability. This is not acceptable, and if it happens again, we will be pursuing legal means to protect our property. And then Xerox Chick says, send it registered mail so you have proof that they were notified. Yes, that's very important. Wampus Fails says, I've always wondered what does registered mail prove aside from that the envelope was delivered. How do you prove you didn't just repurpose some junk mail by stuffing the envelope? You don't have to. Registered and certified mail must be accepted with the signature of the addressee. Do you do the do answer? No mail ever has to be accepted by the addressee. Courts have ruled that unsigned, registered, or certified mail is undelivered. Nevertheless, that and the are court accepted attempt to notify. Yeah, an email. Purple Rose says the trick is to send two notices, one by certified mail return receipt requested, and the second by certified proof of mailing. Back in the day, the courts would accept this as a reasonable attempt to serve the notice. You don't have to prove service since it wasn't a lawsuit, just a letter giving notice. Yeah. And even if you have a friend take it over and they say, yeah, I took it over. What? Oh, phew. I thought my light was dead. I just got it. Um, as long as you can prove that you made an attempt, that is acceptable. Next read is just no mill. How on earth do I respond to this? I invited my mother-in-law to my significant other's son's grandparents' day. Okay. So the stepson's grandparents' day. And this is the response I get. Thanks for thinking of me. I doubt he would know who I was if I turned up, so there was really no point in attending. I'm sure your mom will get more out of it. My mother in law has been really difficult since our son was born. She constantly criticizes us for not visiting every second Sunday, even though we are juggling work, friends, and other family. My partner's siblings look like the golden children because they're always at her house with their kids. She refuses to visit us and ignores invitations to our son's activities, yet still expects us to come to her. She's defensive, confrontational, and never apologizes, which makes it exhausting. How do I respond to this, or can I just ignore her completely? Oh no, I'd respond. I'd respond with, well, how is he supposed to get to know you if you never show up at his things? How do you think that makes him feel if you never show up at his things because he doesn't know you? Weird. I would show up to her every other Sunday, which seems like a lot. I can't even get my kids to come over every month. um, but yeah, every second Sunday. Is that every second Sunday? Is that once a month or is that every other Sunday? I don't know. I don't know. I think if you know it's coming up every second Sunday, you can make a point to attend occasionally at least. Do every other month. Go every other month. You can swing that. It's once every 8 weeks, not that bad. Edit, things are getting worse. I've not responded to her, but this week my husband has been letting her know that he's feeling upset that she hasn't let us know if she's coming to our son's first birthday. So this is not the stepkid, this is the actual grandchild, biological grandchild. They also held a lunch for Father's Day and excluded him because he was at work. He's let her know that this has upset him and that she's gone full scorched earth. For context, they have family group chat. We posted in there saying, hey, everybody, the birthday is on this date. No one replied. The next day, his mom posted saying, hey, I know it's grandchild's birthday on this day, but this football club is having lunch at 12:30 if anyone wants to buy tickets for them. Why would you do that? Like, no, you don't go to a football club. I'm guessing they mean soccer. Um, when you know your grandchild's birthday party's that day. That's weird. The next day, I posted the actual invite with the time and location. No response from anyone. Now she's posting in the family group chat that they're having family lunch tomorrow. And this is how she worded it. Hi, y'all. Having afternoon tea on Sunday from 3 ish so league fans can get to their TVs in time for the grand final. All welcome, although it has come to my attention that some people are feeling obliged to attend. We enjoy hanging out with everyone in our family, but please only accept our invitation if you genuinely want to spend time with us eating our food and drinking our drinks. Warning in advance, I'm feeling a bit fragile at present. Well, yeah, it is an invitation and not a summons. This lady sounds like she's trying to summon people. Not a good look. My husband struggles to be black and white with her and tell her exactly how she's upsetting him. He can be quite vague. Is there any benefit to being more black and white and explaining exactly what is hurting us, or do we just cut our losses and drop contact? Um, well, if you're going to be more than black and white, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. That's what being blunt is. That's what happens when you're blunt. You on purpose, accident, natural consequence, you feelings get hurt. Individual ad says she wants you to respond. Don't. She's getting off in a sadistic way or denying your invitations, belittling you in group chats with side eye, passive aggressive crap. Don't feed the beast. The beast needs the attention and feeds on the conflict. Don't give it to her. Want to drive her crazy? Don't respond. Radio silence. It will drive her effing insane, and you will win the prize of no more drama from her. And don't sit around letting them live rent free in your head. Just move on. Yeah, she sounds like she wants more than her son and his wife are willing to give her. Um, and that happens sometimes, but you have to learn to deal with that and be disappointed occasionally because you're going to be disappointed occasionally. It's okay. You'll get over it. Won't last long. You make up sometime. Our next read is from Am I the Devil? Old but Gold. Comments seal the deal. And this is originally from Am I the A-hole? AITA for taking my bonus and creating a secret room in my house, complete with bookshelf door. Oh, that sounds like fun. Hello, AITA. Thank you for taking the time to weigh on what was supposed to be a fun project, but has turned into a major issue between my fiance and I. I'm a moderator and several other subs, so I'm using a thorough way as to not cross over stream, so to speak. Last year, after several years of being out of steady work, I was able to land a really good job. My new company had unreasonably good year, and in late February, I got a five-figure bonus. Nice. Nice. I've always wanted to have a secret room in my house. I honestly don't know why, but it's always just been seemed so cool to have a room where pull a lever, a bookcase opens to my private space. I figured with the bonus, the time was right, so I hired a good contractor. They tore down some walls and started digging up the foundation to our spare bedroom, since the secret room will have a circular staircase to a new basement. The house was my grandmother's, and it was given to me, paid off when she died, so I own the house outright, and I have full legal authority to do this. Fiance is so furious at me, she's thinking about calling off the wedding. Let her. It's your house. She says that taking away my bonus was wildly irresponsible and that we could have used the money to pay off debt. I mean, if you are in debt, you probably should have paid that off first. Pay some of the wedding to take the pressure off her parents or even save. I mean, her parents paying for the wedding. Her parents are paying for the wedding. I countered with this bonus was essentially found money and that may never happen again. So we might as well have fun with it while we have it. She says that we are getting married. This has to be a discussion, and me digging up the foundation and tearing out several walls in the house has made it impossible for her to live in the house. I counter again with it's my house. The argument has gotten so intense that she had moved on in with her sister, and we may be looking at the end of our 2-year relationship. Am I the a-hole in this situation? You've only been together 2 years and you're already engaged. That's a red flag. Oh, where's my red flag? That's a red flag. Um, Johnson says, I mean, this man is an idiot, but I definitely want a room like that in my house. I mean, I definitely see the appeal to the room. I see the appeal to the room. It sounds really cool, but maybe don't start seriously remodeling the house while you're already in debt. That's a good point. And also, without even letting the other person living there know. This is my last retort, says retort instead of retort. That's cute. Not without permits. Bro admitted more or less that it's an unpermitted work. The headache unpermitted work causes. OMG, you don't want to know. Um, he said, no, he said he hired a contractor. It's not unpermitted. It's not unpermitted. A contractor takes care of that for you, usually, unless he makes you take care of it yourself. But a contractor isn't just gonna do it without permits. So that's not right. Yeah, that room sounds really cool. Probably should have consulted her, I guess. But it is his house and they're not married. Now, if they were married, I have a different opinion. But they're not married yet. They've only been together 2 years. I don't know. So the next one is from Server Life. I got my first bad review. They came in, got 3 rounds of drinks, but paid 2.5 hours after they sat down. When they paid, I told them 5 minutes later that I needed the table. Oh no, don't do that. No, you don't do that. Okay. Sharing time. So we got a 1-star review from somewhere in New York, it looks like. I say this having been a server recently, 4 times over in my life. We had the most rude, hostile waiter with something, something, something hair, glasses, and pink hair, maybe? I don't know. I have ever experienced. I work in restaurants. I understand there are off days and a myriad of circumstances that at play. There were 4 empty tables. We had paid our check, and our waiter could not have been more crude, rude, slamming drinks down, slamming checks down, not asking what drink we wanted next, but just leaving us and giving us whatever they felt like, telling us, I need you to leave, instead of just communicated that they needed us to move a table or so down in order to join tables together. No, you don't do that. The people that are coming in, wait. I've had to wait numerous times to for them to push tables together. We had to be the one to take a pause and ask him, "Hold on, what is the problem here? So we can understand why you're so angry." I never left a bad review about a food establishment, but we were so dumbfounded. I don't care how bad a shift you're having, this behavior was diabolical and mean. I mean, they're hyperbolic for sure. That is definitely hyperbole there. Um, okay. So I told them that in that moment we were booked and busy. They didn't get up. They stayed for another 30 minutes. I lost out on that table, but was busy, so I was making money. A group of 4 or 5 came in, so I told them again, I'm going to need the table. When they pointed out that there's other tables, 2 4 tops in a tight squeeze area, and a 2 top, I said, what the heck? Why is my phone? My phone is like translating what I'm
It
saying.
sounds like you were asking about the placement of your phone when the person was describing the available.
I didn't even say anything. That should have prompted that. Oh, okay. When they pointed out there's other tables, 2 4 tops in a tight squeeze area and a 2 top, I said, you're more than welcome to move to an empty table or the bar, but I need to free up this table. First of all, no. No. You don't make people move. And so what if they've been there? They're paying for their food. They're paying for their drinks. Something in my bones told me they were going to leave a review, and here it is. I'm kind of proud. Management doesn't believe it, and when my coworkers saw it, they laughed. Oh, and they knew someone who walked in, so they had to scream at the top of their lungs. Yes, my other tables were looking at them crazy. Uh, uh, OBX head says, well, that's a drunken rant. Shake it off. uh, Well, there's somebody else that's easily fixed by a competent manager. Communication is the key. I think it was kind of rude. That's my opinion. I've never been asked to leave a restaurant. And I've sat there for crazy amounts of time. It wasn't busy, to be fair. But my best BFF and her husband and I and my husband. I think we spent 5 hours at a restaurant once on accident. Like, oh, I guess it's late. It got dark outside in summer in Michigan. Yay! Next we have expectations versus reality. I always have to sing for you. She wanted a gothy Monster High doll dress cake for her 8th birthday. So this was the inspiration. It's cute. It's like one of those old-fashioned Barbie cakes. We had those in the 70s. We also had them so as a Barbie on top and you put toilet paper underneath for your extra roll of toilet paper. Oh, that's cute. That's really cute. Very goth, which is what she wanted. Very cute. I approve. I approve of this cake. She did a good job. I think she did a good job. I like the two-tone hair. That is so cute. She did a good job. I mean, it's just the frosting, basically. It's just frosting a cake and swirlies. She did a good job with the swirlies and the decorations. It's thumbs up cake. All right, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I try to go live at least 4 times a week, usually about noon Eastern time. Again, next week I will only be on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. If you have a story of your own or come across a good one in the wild, please send us an email entitled submission. If you would like an email link to the current day's live when I set it up, send an email entitled subscribe. The email is biddybrunchbunch, all one word, at gmail.com, and the address is always in the description. So you can always email me. Please email me. All right. And now on to Zilla Gone Wild. Um, it includes a torture room. Why does it need 4 locks? WTF. And this is what the torture room looks. It has a bed at least. This is for scared people. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 4 locks. Holy cow. House looks nice. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the torture room's about. Although my son's house, I tease him it's like a dungeon because they've built onto the house numerous times, and every time they do, they expand the basement, but they expand it in a with a room. So you go down there and there's rooms all along all along the walls of the basement. The original basement is a room and a room and a room. It's like, dude, you could just like, you know, rent rooms out in your house. A room at a time in the basement. Or you could torture people in it. Oh, the next one is from Am I Overreacting? AIO, my BF, texting his former student. So her boyfriend texted the former student. And I'm going to share. I'm so sorry I didn't get you the link, but I was so nice seeing your face and hearing your voice. I share some positivity with you. I've missed you. This is totally okay. I feel so sorry. I feel like I was really unprepared at the meeting and weird all night. I just kind of did the wrong things and said the wrong things and always I'm sorry and was so amazing to talk to you. Anytime you get a chance, I'm always real excited to see how things are going and to trauma dump all my very academic struggles. It was very good to hear your voice, and I really miss you too. I don't see anything wrong with that. Next one is not at all. You did a great job at the meeting. I just read your body language and was sensitive to the fact that you were a little uncomfortable. You're human. You can always call me. I will make time for you. I love hearing the stories. Makes my life seem even better. I see nothing wrong with this. This is a normal conversation between two people that know each other. My boyfriend, 33 male, is a high school teacher and has stayed in touch with his former student, 19 female, who went off to college this year. Am I overreacting or are the conversations between him blue and her white a bit too emotionally charged to be just mentor-mentee relationship? No, no, they're friends. They're friends now. She's graduated and now they're friends. It's perfectly fine. I don't crap. Okay, there we go. Um, yeah, I don't see anything super emotionally charged about this. Um, People, even teachers, once in a while find a relationship with a student that is not any way inappropriate, but they become very close, and this is okay. It's okay. Yeah, this guy thinks it's super creepy and inappropriate. Smiley and winky faces. I don't care. I think you're over reading things into it. He's telling her to get out now. Opie was 18 when her boyfriend, 33, started dating her. Now the guy is going after a 19-year-old. Okay, so now there's history. That's a different story. That's a different story if there's history. I'm 27 and still keep in touch with one of my teachers who had a big impact on me. I'd literally throw up if you talk to me like this. Yeah, everybody's saying it's screaming. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, given history, I probably am. But I don't think it's wrong for two adults to talk to each other, even if they're kind of flirty a little bit sometimes. As long as they both have their own boundaries, healthy boundaries. Traumatize them back. Teacher threatened to call recently passed mother. Ooh. It's flared traumatized. This is probably sad. When I was in eighth grade, my friend and classmate lost his mother. He was kind of a troublemaker, so I guess it made teachers notice his misbehavior more. Well, of course he was troubled. His mom passed away. Duh. So about a week after his mom passing, we were at class and he just laid on his desk and didn't interact with anyone the whole day. Understandably so, I was surprised he even showed up. Our teacher didn't like that he threatened to send him to the principal. So I guess she didn't like his lack of reaction on this even more because she said, "What will your mother say about this, huh? I'm going to call her today and tell her everything." Class became silent. My friend stood up and said, "Good luck trying to reach her," and walked out of the class. Later we told her he was she was feeling later when we told her she was feeling really bad and apologized to him, but still, you would have thought teachers would get some kind of memo on situations like this. But I guess she skipped that meeting. Yeah, teachers. I had a friend who lost his mom in high school. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was early high school. She had cancer, so it had been a long time. I can't imagine somebody telling him that. And yeah, sometimes when things are going on at home, kids act out at school. They don't know how to cope. They're kids. Inevitable Fox says it happened to me at 14. My 22-year-old sister had been killed, and I'd finally gone back to school. One lesson was French, and I'd been crying after my mom had dropped me off. I walked into class with a teacher that had never liked me. She was a stern woman and barked at us to hurry up and sit down. As I was doing as I was told, but she suddenly stamped at me and flew off the handle about me, sighing loudly. She screamed at me, the whole class just still in shock. It was at that moment when I realized I didn't need to take her crap. I grabbed myself and just walked out. As I was leaving, I heard a friend say, Miss, she was crying. Her sister just died. I walked up to my tutor room and found my form tutor and told him what happened and that I was going home because if this is how I was going to be treated, I'd rather be at home grieving with grieving family. I didn't go home. I did go home, and I finally went back. The teacher had been let go, apparently. This was the final nail in the coffin after a long list of issues. Probably didn't help that my mother called the school and reported her and lodged a full complaint. I hated that woman. She'd scream in your face for the smallest infractions. Spinner of yarn said I had a French teacher when I was about 13 who would throw chalk. I had two fantastic French teachers, but it seems like whenever there's a language teacher that's awful, it's French. I had an English teacher that was awful in high school. She would threaten to pull your hair. It's really funny when she threatened to pull like this giant football player's hair. He ended up being the sheriff in Grand Rapids, Michigan for a while. I don't think she scared him that much. She was just mean. And here we go in arc slash confession. I lied to my entire high school for all 4 years. I lied about being colorblind for 4 years. I had no real reason why. I just wanted to lie about something silly and insignificant and see how long I could keep it up. I ended up going through all of high school without slipping up, and I revealed the truth the same night of my graduation. We had units of science in class and talking about inheritance and genetics. So of course color blindness came up. I was asked a lot of questions and I even took a colorblind test in class, which I knew how to fail. But I did my due diligence and studied a lot about color blindness. Everyone told I had protanopia or red green color blindness. I knew the way the color blindness gene works had to be passed down from both my mom and my dad. I would turn on the color filters setting on my phone to exaggerate the difference between colors, so if anyone were to look over at my phone, it would keep up the lie. My One of my favorite games at this point was Free Flow, which has a setting where you can assign certain colors with letters so you could connect A to B or A to A or B to B. Instead of red or blue to blue, I never talked about it, but people would know to say, "Oh, right, you're colorblind. It makes sense." It got to the point where even my teachers knew I was colorblind, and if there was ever an in-class activities with coloring involved, they would accommodate me for it. I had no substantial reason for doing this. I just thought it would be funny, and it wasn't a lie that hurt anyone, just something silly to do for fun. I thought to myself, why not? And that was all it took for me to commit to the bit from freshman year to the night of my high school graduation. That's some commitment, dude. We have new neighbors. One of them is completely colorblind. He only sees like grays like a black and white TV. Like I didn't even know that was a possibility. And he didn't even know it for a long time till he was an adult. He was just faking it the whole time. Somebody said, I have an ex who knew they were colorblind but pretended not to know and acted absolutely mind blown when other friend pointed it out to them. The other friend believed for 4 years that they were the one that helped my ex discover they were colorblind. Scared and crying says, my ex pretended to be allergic to strawberries for 4 full years, two of them dating me. All of our friends even believed him. One night, my sister was smoking with us, laughing about memories, turned to him and said, "Remember when you were a kid and lied about being allergic to things so you wouldn't have to eat them?" He looked at me with a straight face, which gave him away. I love strawberries and catered to his fake allergy for that long. Oh, I know somebody who also says they're allergic to tomatoes and they're not. They just don't like them. It's dumb. If you're not allergic to something and you just don't like it, you can pick it off. You don't have to eat it. Nobody's forcing you. The next read is from Am I the A-hole? AITA for refusing to give my college fund to my nephew after my sister found out about it. No, no. This has been flared, not the a-hole. Hi, for the past 6 years, I have been working on different jobs in my S-hole of a country in order to save up and get a real education and a proper job later. Good for you. Good. That's what you should be doing. My parents are always promising to pay for it, but they never did. At some point, I managed to get a scholarship, and I used to save money for housing and other bills and spendings. Yep. Good on you, OP. I have a sister, she has a son. She's always been complaining about how no one ever helped her with money, just like me. But unlike her, I wasn't mentioning it that much. I never mentioned the fund, but my parents have accidentally revealed to the sister at the last family gathering. When my sister immediately turns to me and asks to donate the remaining money to her and her child, saying I could move back in with my parents. No. My parents agreed with her because family helps family. I obviously refused because I have been saving up for years and now I'm going to need it. Then my sister and parents just turned red, accusing me of being a selfish prick. I quickly fled the family gathering without asking the other family members what did they think about it, but I really don't know if I'm going doing something incorrect or their reaction was in the wrong. No, that's your money. You earned that money. Why should she can go earn her own money? Your parents could step in and help both of you out. Stripping Chicken says, what's with the chickens today? They should all be biddy hens like us. I would stop calling it a college fund because it really sounds like it's your life savings. They want you to go they want you to give up all of your hard-earned life savings to help them out. And TA, they are TA. It would have been fine for them to ask for some help, but demand all of your savings is incredibly selfish. If a family is supposed to help family, why are they trying to hurt you? Oh, it's not selfish. It's entitled, which is worse. Yeah, Shadow for Summer says, I don't believe for a second that her parents just let it slip. They know she has been saving money and they're too cheap to help out their own kids. Screw them all. Yes. 120%. Apparently there's 1,000%. It doesn't mean what you think it means. Okay. Now we have Bye Bye Job. And Staten Island Republican fires Staten Island Republican fires chief of staff over alleged text comments, including "I love Hitler." Yeah, he should have been fired. I'm not even looking at that. He deserved it. What? This is the party line for Republicans. What did he do wrong? And the next one answers, got caught. He got caught saying the quiet part out loud. That's what happened. Okay, our next one is from the subreddit I Don't Work Here Lady. And it's entitled, So How Does the Dirt Work? I parked in the shady spot in the Walmart parking lot. I have keys in one hand and start aiming towards the nearest exit entrance, the garden center. A man gets out of a pickup nearby, looks at the many bags of mulch piled up, angles quickly over to me and says, So how does the dirt work? I look from him to the mulch and back at him. I have no answer for him. He gets frustrated. Are we supposed to pay first? Do I have to get a cart and bring it all inside or what? I'm a retired woman. I'm wearing shorts and a loose top because it's hot as Hades out here. Still not completely sure why he's asking me. I summer. He steps back. You don't know? I say, that is correct. No one knows. He goes toward the garden center, monitoring Walmart. I changed direction to the main entrance with the other filthy heathens. The general public is something to behold. Why would you think that somebody in shorts and a t-shirt, an older woman in shorts and a t-shirt, would be working, would be the person to ask a question at Walmart? I don't understand it. You know what her problem was? She was looking too busy. She was looking too busy. She looked like she was on a mission, so obviously she worked there. Oh, Habitoxide says it's a great planet if you don't count the numbskulls. Oh, and to paraphrase George Carlin, he repeats what I just said a little while ago, paraphrasing George Carlin about thinking about um, how dumb the average person is. Oh, how does the dirt work? Probably not well unless you're moving it around, dude. Oh, the next one is from True Off My Chest. I lied about having kids just so people would take me seriously at work. I, 34 female, work in a corporate office where most of the women around my age are moms. I'm not. I never wanted kids. I'm happy with that decision, and that's fine. It's all well and good. And you shouldn't have to pretend you have kids. But in meetings and break rooms and casual chats, I noticed the moms bonded over shared exhaustion, school events, and daycare costs. They talk about real responsibilities and life outside work. Meanwhile, if I ever said I was tired, someone would say, just wait till you have kids. People can be tired. Let's not gatekeep tiredness. You don't know what's going on with people. They could have a sleeping disorder. Maybe they're tired all the time. So one day, out of sheer pettiness, I said I had a 3-year-old. And suddenly everything changed. People were warmer. They included me. My boss told me to go home early to your little one after late meetings. I got empathy I never had before just because they thought I was a mom. It's been 6 months. I've kept the lie up. There's a framed stock photo of a kid on my desk. His name is Eli. I know it's messed up. I know I have to lose Eli one day, but for the first time in years, I feel like I'm treated as a person. That's sad. That's really sad. People don't treat other people less than you would anyone else just because they have kids or not, or any other reason for that matter. That's called being a bigot. That's what bigotry is. You judging people on things that they shouldn't be judged on. Jenny Meiji says your options are Eli was actually your stepchild, who you just never felt the need to clarify the difference as you considered them their child, and you and their parent have now broken up so you don't have custody anymore. Eli's other parent is moving away and taking majority custody as there are better opportunities for schools. Eli was actually a long term foster child. You intended to adopt keep, but his parent has actually completed a successful parenting course as rehab and parenting assignments and are now getting him back. Or rogue biological grandparent have come out of the woodwork who wants him. Yeah, I've had people deal with the former. Eli dies in a bizarre accident. I was thinking to get more sympathy if Eli just died in a bizarre accident. Or Eli, who never existed. One person said stepchild is the best way because otherwise there'll be lots of follow up. I don't know. I'd have follow up for the step kid too. That's really sad. People are just weird. Okay, our next read is from What Do I Do? I opened the note. This note. I opened my door to this note, presumably for my fiance. And let's see what this note is. It says, "Hey, this is so and so. I helped do trash. I saw you were here a few times and I thought you were handsome. Here's my number. Bye bye, handsome." Why does this look like a 5-year-old wrote it? I guess I could do that. That's better. Yeah, this sounds like a 5-year-old wrote it. So weird. So weird. The number's out of service. We live in a fairly big apartment complex, so no clue where to begin. Somebody says, I wouldn't worry about it. Just tell them about the weird note. They weren't bold enough to make a risky move, and you can trust him. Martha Mania said, this would be pinned on the fridge, and I'd spend the rest of my life teasing my husband about his other girlfriend. For sure. Yeah, that's probably what we do. Fiction itself says, say bye bye, handsome, every time he has to go somewhere without you, or vice versa for the rest of your life. Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's weird. I have that in there twice. I don't know why. All right. Our next read is from Mildly Infuriating. Guy at my gym builds a dumbbell tower every day just to record himself flexing. And they have pictures. They have pictures of him flexing. I'm sorry, but to me, this is not attractive at all. This guy's not too bad, but this, ugh, bleh. No, no, thank you. No, thank you. He builds up this setup every day to film himself flexing, hogging half the dumbbell rack for hours. Staff doesn't say a word. He's there for hours, so it's damn near impossible to avoid him. Maybe he lives there. Maybe he lives there. Oops. No, that one. I don't want to end the stream. That would be disastrous. We got two more to go. Extremely dangerous for legs and feet everywhere. Your gym effing sucks if they let this douche do that. I don't know much about gyms. I just know that guy is not attractive, no matter how much he thinks he is. Next, we have best of Redditor updates. I, 25 female, wasn't invited to a friend coworker's 27 female wedding, but other friends were, unsure how to have her stop talking to me about her big day. You don't. You suck it up, chickie. Kind of got to suck it up. You're not going to be invited to everything. Weddings, especially, have budgets. Not everyone gets invited to the wedding. That's just how it is. People have space limitations, budget limitations. So the OP is when was this originally posted? It doesn't say where it was originally posted. That's unusual. Usually says okay, so the original post was on May 10th, 2017. I met my friend Amanda at work over 3 years ago. She is new to the team, and I had the opportunity to help train her. We clicked instantly and became really good friends pretty fast. There was never a doubt in my mind that we weren't close friends. Although her schedule is slightly different than mine, she gets off work an hour or two after I do. We always made plans and met for shopping, drinks, hanging out, and double dates with our boyfriends. Obviously, we have mutual friends we work with. We all try to have dinner together once in a while or out to a bar club. I was very happy for Amanda when she got engaged to her longtime high school sweetheart just over a year ago. They're absolutely perfect for each other. And when she showed me the ring, I was floored by how pretty it is. I did ask when the wedding would be, sorry. I did ask when the wedding would be, and she said in late summer of 2017. It's coming up in August, and this is May. She has spoken to me almost daily about her wedding plans and process, which I'm totally fine with. One day we were hanging out. She proactively told me she wasn't inviting close friends coworker to the ceremony. She wanted a small intimate wedding with her and her soon to be husband's family, and then everyone would be invited to the reception after. Seemed like a good idea, and I said I liked that a lot. However, after she sent out invitations, three mutual friends slash coworkers Snapchatted their invitation as not reception only invite. The snaps were sent directly to me, but they were in their story, and I just so happened to see them while clicking through stories. I was hurt I didn't receive an invitation, even if only to the reception, but I didn't bother bringing it up to Amanda. Clearly, we weren't as close of friends as I thought, and she had already made it clear to me that she had no plans of inviting friends slash coworkers. However, since she had invited some other girls we worked with, I figured it was just a roundabout way of her politely telling me I wasn't invited while trying to spare my feelings. However, she still talks to me daily about her wedding that's coming up in just a few months, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. You're still going to the reception, aren't you? What does it matter? How you don't know these how do you know these aren't like long-term friends or uh, distant family members or something? She constantly tells me about everything. Recently, she talked my ear off during our lunch break about her dress, then showed me all of the pictures she took in before sending it off to get altered. It's a very pretty dress, but it was a harsh reminder that I won't get to be there to see her in front of it or celebrate her marriage. Aren't you going to the reception? I'm perfectly polite and engaged in our conversations when she speaks to me about her wedding, but it's the only topic that ever comes up. And any attempt to change it up somehow comes straight back to her big day. I get it. She's excited. She's allowed that, but it stings a lot. Obviously, I've distanced myself from hanging out with her as much because I thought our her thoughts on our friendship are were drastically different than mine. Sometimes that happens. How can I politely tell her to stop talking about it with to me about it without hurting her feelings or having it turn nasty? You can't. You can't if you're going to be like that. It's not going to go pleasantly. And if it does turn nasty, how should I even be to handle it? I don't think Amanda would make things nasty. She's very nice, but I don't want her to feel like I'm attacking her in any way and making a mountain out of a molehill. Okay, and then she's got an edit. I never expected this to receive as many comments and suggestions. I have read every single comment thus far. I've gained a lot of insight into the situation and how I should likely move forward. I will definitely speak up when Amanda tries to talk to me next. I will advise her that while I'm happy for her, I have no interest in chatting about listening to her talk about wedding celebration that I wasn't invited to. If she tries to continue, I'll deflect it as politely or humorously as possible. If she freaks out, I will handle it to the best of my ability. Edit 2. I'm seeing a lot of repeat comments, and I just want to reiterate a small fact. She's never asked for my address, nor does she know where I live, and vice versa. Although we hang out a lot, it was never at each other's place. So you're not that close. Because my close friends, I know where they live, and I've been to their houses. She was living with her parents until she and her fiance bought a house recently, so she wasn't comfortable having people over. And I live with several roommates in a shared home with my boyfriend, so I never invite people over. If she did intend to invite me, I imagine she would have asked for my address or given it to me by hand. Neither of those things happened. And with her first telling me she had no intention of inviting a particular group I fit into, I'm pretty confident that she never intended to invite me from the get-go. How do you know that she mailed you an invitation and didn't show up? Or left you an invitation on your desk and it blew off? I've missed the things before because I didn't get the invitation. Also, it's pretty easy to find out somebody's address if you really want to. It's not that hard. All you need to know is about where they live. Update May 14th, 2017, 4 days later. Hello, everyone. I meant to update this yesterday when I got off work, but I forgot. So here's a slightly late update on what transpired after I received a lot of female feedback and suggestions. I took my second break a little later than usual, hoping that Amanda wouldn't notice. Well, she did. She hopped up from her desk and followed me into the break room. She said hello and asked me how I was doing for once, and before I had fully sat down to relax, began chatting about her wedding again. I waited a moment and then politely cut in with a smile and said, Amanda, I would really appreciate that you want to share all of this with me, but this makes me slightly uncomfortable. She looked really confused and asked me why. She said I was honest and told her that it makes me upset that all it seems she wants to talk about is her wedding and I wasn't invited. She kind of laughed it off and said, but I didn't invite anyone from work, so it's not just you. So that comment alone made it very clear that that I was intentionally excluded from her invitation list. Yes, she has every right to choose who she wants to invite to her wedding, but there's a right way and a wrong way to go about it. Telling me she's not excluding a specific group that includes me and then inviting other people and lying to me about that. The point is not the right way to go about it. Simply, hey, I know we're friends and all, but I made the decision not to invite you to my wedding for X reason. I would have been totally okay, and I would have respected that decision 100%. I kind of gave her a weird look and said, but you invited friend one, two, and three. I saw it on their Snapchat stories a while back, unless that was a mistake. I've never seen a woman turn around so fast and bolt out of a room. She looked positively angry. I imagine she went to find all three of the girls and tell them that I found out. Either way, I got to enjoy the last minutes of my break in peace. She didn't approach me for the rest of the day and avoided me as we both walked the same path to leave the building and get into the general area where we parked our cars. Safe to say, I've lost a few friends, but I'm not heartbroken about it. I just want to say there isn't any drama involved by me saying anything, and I'm pretty sure all four of them will be avoiding me from here on out. Thank you all who took the time to read my post and some advice, both good and bad, and I appreciate it. Okay, apparently she wasn't um um invited to either the wedding or the reception. I mean, maybe she was trying to spell your feelings. Commenter, I know this is already an update, but I low key am dying to know if she has even tried to approach you since you then are her friends. OOP says, I wasn't planning on logging into this account anymore, but was curious to see if this had gained more comments. She hasn't tried to approach me at all, neither have the other girls. It's Wednesday, and usually by now we would all have spoken in some way. I proactively removed all of them from my social media accounts, so I didn't give them a chance to remove me first. So you're withdrawing from them. Am I missing something? What benefit did Amanda get out of not inviting OOP but talking to her about it? Like, what's the point of lying here? Somebody answered, some people really like to talk at other people, and the other person's interest isn't important. They get to rehash every detail out loud, and that's all they want. It's better than talking to just yourself. The fact that OP had feelings about being excluded didn't matter much to them, but she didn't want to be confronted by the fact that she did the nice so nice thing. I mean, yeah, the Amanda should have been just um more honest to OP about, hey, I invited the other three girls, but I didn't invite you for whatever reason. Um Yeah, it's hard to realize when you're not people's friends. And it happens sometimes. OOP is a stand in friend who is convenient for Amanda, but she doesn't want her involved with her other friends. Amanda is a mean girl. Maybe. Maybe there's a reason none of them like OP too. You don't know that. You always you always frame your messages in ways that you come out as the best person. And maybe she's just mean. Maybe Amanda's just a mean person. I mean, I've helped people pick out their wedding invitations before, not invited to their wedding, so it's not that big a deal. All right, well, that's all I have for today. Um, I hope everybody's well. I hope you have a beautiful afternoon. It's still gloomy here. Still gloomy. Looks like it's rainy. Haven't seen the squirrel, only Bucky that one time. So I hope you have a good, lovely weekend. I will see you on Monday. The next couple weeks are going to be messed up because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, shoot, week after next is where's the calendar? There's the calendar. So that's this week. Oh, oh, the next week. Okay. So next week I will not be on Veterans Day, which is the 11th, and a significant day, and the 14th, which is Friday. The next week I should be on every day except maybe Wednesday. I don't know. I might be on Wednesday because um they might give me a break after having the kids so much. It's a very, very busy time. Since we moved my sister-in-law, my we have to now get the house ready um to sell. So, like I said, it's a 1920s house, and she lived in it for 35 years. So, lots of work to do. There's issues. They just took out the entire main plumbing uh, pipe out of the house, put it through the roof. But my son and my nephew know what they're doing. So it's my nephew, not my husband's nephew. It's my husband's sister, but not my husband's nephew, my nephew. So I will see you all next time on Monday, 12 noon Eastern. Have a lovely weekend. Bye. What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. Bye. Bye.